What's up everyone, it's the Autistic Scyther here, and we finally made it to 6 subscribers, which isn't that much, but hey, we're slowly getting there. However, in this case, I wouldn't be having the slight success I've been having if it wasn't for the people that inspired me. So, why not make a list of my top 10 favorite YouTubers? Basically to shine a light at every YouTuber I've seen that more or less inspired me to put myself out there and make my channel happen. So, it's time to count down my top 10 favorite YouTubers. Starting off first with number 10, we have Babish Culinary Universe. That being said, first things first, I love cooking, I love food, and it's a surprise that I came across this YouTube channel back in around 2020 or 2021. And let me tell you, honestly, I love all of his videos to the point that every time I end up getting a chance to see one, I enjoy every moment of it, including his videos where he creates the different sorts of food from movies, TV, and video games, and anime. And it's inspired me to want to get back into doing my own cooking and making food for when I eventually become independent. And with his Babish Basics series, it allows me to learn more things about cooking styles and tools and many different ways to cook certain food that I never knew existed. And it's not just because of the fact I've read a cookbook that he wrote that I borrowed from the Fanwood Public Library. So, yeah, really says a lot. Moving on next at number 9, we have Blazing Knight. And considering how much of a Fire Emblem fan I am, yeah, it kind of makes sense that, honestly, he would be one of the first FETubers that I saw. And honestly, really does make some sense, since a lot of his Fire Emblem content is phenomenal. And it's not just his Fire Emblem content, as he has a lot of other videos having to do with Pokemon, Legend of Zelda, Monster Hunter, anime, and heck, even his Let's Plays. And a lot of the stuff that I can essentially see and enjoy are his sense of humor and, well, his common usage of swears to prove that he's still human. But either way, a lot of his moments are just so enjoyable, and they always put a smile on my face. That's all I gotta say here. Moving on next at number 8, we have Josh Scorcher. Another YouTuber whose videos I basically watch a lot. And this really says a lot, since it was thanks to him that it kept me mentally healthy back during the pandemic, which really does say a lot. And if it wasn't for him, it was thanks to him that I basically made not just my own boss battle series, where I make a lot of lists about specific bosses of a specific type, but it's also the chance I made my own video game fails list. Granted, both of us basically may have ended our video games fails series pretty early, but with the video game series as a whole, video game industry as a whole, yeah, I know they're gonna have a lot of fails yet to come. Either way, Josh basically has a lot of solid videos that I still enjoy to this day. Fair to say. Moving on next at number 7, we have Pragmagic. And granted, this is the first of the Pokémon YouTubers I've ever seen, but honestly, Pragmagic's one of the more enjoyable Pokémon YouTubers I will watch. And especially since a lot of his videos basically focus on Pokemon of a specific type, or even specific Pokemon of having many different types, like Yamask of every type, or Meowth of every type. However, that being said, the main one has to be his Fakemon regions. Because if it wasn't for regions like the Cornera region, the Devar region, and the Aleo region, I wouldn't have created my own Fakemon region, the Antaria region. Which, in all fairness, I really need to get back to that. But, in fairness, as long as I keep watching Pragmagic's videos, it'll still keep me going about creating my own Pokemon. Or Fakemon, in this case. Moving on next at number 6, we have Loxton and Noggin. Now, in all fairness, I am a very analytical guy, so it kind of makes sense that Loxton's videos would more or less be up my alley. And honestly, it really does say a lot, ever since I watched his Pokemon videos series about Pokemon and of different types and what makes them their specific type, it allowed me to take a little bit of a critical look at Pokemon of a different type to see what makes them such myself. And honestly, it really does say a lot, as well as a lot of other videos that basically take a look at. In fact, I wouldn't know that Pokemon would be the specific inspirations they were if it wasn't for Loxton. And I can tell you, I will be using my Noggin for many years to come. You can count on that. Moving on next, at number 5, we have YouTubers. Now, I'm not that big on animation YouTubers. In fact, there are a few animation YouTubers I will watch, like Jaden Animations, Illuminations, and Let Me Explain Studios. However, surprisingly enough, YouTubers has become one of the few animation YouTubers I will full on enjoy. And considering how most animation YouTubers will tell stories involving snippets of their lives in animated form that enjoyable and entertaining for everyone to watch, Yoon basically just does the same exact thing, but does it in a way that basically he makes it seem like it's more like an episode of a television series. And especially the fact that many of the characters that are friends or family, whether friends, people, classmates, or even family, have been inspired by many different people, or even random people have been inspired by people from many different anime and games like Rick and Morty, My Hero Academia, and Genshin Impact. But the big one comes from her video involving her autistic brother. Both of them, actually. And surprisingly enough, it's one of those few videos that honestly allowed me to realize that, hey, maybe there are a lot of people out there just like me who are going through the same thing I'm going through. And honestly, even if I do become a big YouTuber, I know I'm gonna have a lot of people that are part of the autistic community like myself who will basically stay by my side and support me all, and even that I can even support me, which really does say a lot. Moving on next at number 4, we have the Green Scorpion. And honestly, this is one of the few videos, his channel is one of the few channels I always love to watch. And honestly, the main reason why I love to watch him are his top 10 lists. In fact, all of them are so well-informed, entertaining, and they introduced me to a lot of things I didn't even think about. I mean, heck, he created an entire series of weapon masters and element masters, which really inspired my own series of those sorts of things, including new ones like Hailmancers, Fan Wielders, and Hair Fighters. That being said, and even I've also really recently enjoyed something else, those being his Let's Plays, including especially his Let's Plays with his co-writer Comic Foil, as ironically I really enjoy the back and forth between both of them and how both of their personalities play off of each other to the point that it really, he puts a smile on my face every time I watch one of those videos. So yeah, honestly, the fact that Oscar's videos are this pretty, put his channel at number 4 really does say a lot. Moving on next, at number 3, we have Indie Andy. Sadly, he passed away several years ago. And honestly, it's fair to say the autistic community actually lost a very amazing and talented YouTuber. And in fact, it was because of Indie Andy that I learned all about the struggles many people on the autistic spectrum have gone through. And heck, it allowed me to understand my condition, since I was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome back in middle school. So, in fairness, I really didn't know much. But now, it's fair to say I'm still learning a lot about people on the spectrum. And honestly, I have a feeling this year is going to be put to the test. Rest well, Andy. Rest well. Moving on next, at number 2, we have M&JTV. Honestly, I have to say it, Mikey's videos are some of the funniest I've ever seen. And honestly, I really enjoy every bit of performance or entertainment that came from his videos. From Pokemon Talk to A Spit of Pie, and even his Let's Plays. However, the main thing I enjoy from him are his Team Sky videos. And of course, if it wasn't for Team Sky, I would have never created my own evil team called Team Quark Drive, which was basically the second evil team from the Univers region that basically is known to basically show the superiority of electric types. So, thanks to Mikey for that. Also, Team Quark Drive forever! And finally, number 1, we have Chugga Conroy. Honestly, this guy and his YouTube channel are one of the first YouTube channels I've ever seen. And honestly, it's one of the few YouTube channels that have ever given me excitement in all of this time, for all of these years. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have shown an interest in video games like Chrono Trigger, Xenoblade Chronicles, Kirby, or even Splatoon. And considering how I'm still watching his YouTube videos, and I'm behind with a lot of his playthroughs, yeah, I know there's gonna be a lot of more enjoyment to come. So, you can expect that. And with that, those are the my top 10 favorite YouTubers. Like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.